I wake up to the sound of gunfire. Not unusual. The warehouse shakes with violence at least twice a week. Rival gangs fighting over territory, over money, over nothing. I've learned to curl tighter into the corner, make myself smaller, wait for it to pass. But this time, the sounds are getting closer. My body aches in that familiar way that means someone visited yesterday. Or was it 2 days ago? Time blurs down here in the basement, measured only by meals shoved through the door slot and the clients who pay premium rates for an Omega who can't, fight back anymore. The silver lace zip ties around my wrists burn. They always burn. That's the point. Footsteps thunder overhead. Shouting. More gunshots. Then silence. I hold my breath. Sometimes silence is worse. The door to the basement explodes inward with a crash that makes me flinch so hard I bite my tongue. Blood fills my mouth. Men in dark clothes flood down the stairs, weapons drawn, moving with military precision. I recognize the pattern. This isn't a raid. It's an execution. I close my eyes. Finally. Maybe they'll make it quick. Clear the rooms, a voice commands. Authoritative. I wait for the bullet. Instead, someone stops breathing. Boss? One of the men calls out. You okay? I force my swollen eye open enough to see a figure standing in my doorway. Broad shoulders. Expensive suit somehow still immaculate despite the violence. He's frozen, staring at me with an expression I can't read. Then he moves faster than should be possible, crossing the room and dropping to his knees in front of me. Don't touch me, I rasp. My voice sounds like gravel. The bidding starts at 50,000. You want gentle, it's double. He makes a sound low in his chest, something between a growl and a whimper. It's so unexpected from a man built like a weapon that I actually look at him. Dark eyes. Sharp features. A scar cutting through his left eyebrow. And he's looking at me like I'm something precious he's found broken in the dirt. Who did this? His voice is carefully controlled, but I can hear the rage underneath. I laugh. It hurts. Everything hurts. Check the paperwork upstairs. The family crest should tell you everything. His jaw clenches. Your family? Former family. I let my head fall back against the wall. They disowned me 3 years ago. Well, legally they declared me mentally incompetent and took conservatorship. Same difference. Boss, we need to move, someone says from the doorway. Police scanners are lighting up. The alpha, the boss, doesn't even glance back. He's studying my wrists, the zip ties cutting into infected skin. These are silver-laced. Keeps Omegas compliant. I'm so tired. You should go. Whoever you're here to kill is probably already dead. I'm just inventory. You're coming with me. I actually laugh again, though it turns into a cough that tastes like copper. No offense, but I've heard that line before. At least be original. He reaches for the zip ties and I jerk back instinctively. The movement sends pain screaming through my ribs, broken, maybe fractured. I stopped keeping track. I'm not going to hurt you, he says, and something in his voice makes me pause. I'm going to get these off and take you somewhere safe. Safe. I test the word. It feels foreign in my mouth. That's cute. He produces a knife from somewhere. I tense, but he just carefully cuts through the zip ties. The relief is immediate and agonizing. Blood rushes back into my hands. Can you walk? Does it matter? I meet his eyes. You're taking me either way, right? That's how this works. Someone pays, someone owns me for a while, then I come back here. No. The single word is so absolute it almost makes me believe him. You're never coming back here. He stands and shrugs off his jacket, draping it over my shoulders. It smells like expensive cologne and gunpowder. And underneath that, something else. Something that makes my broken Omega instincts stir for the first time in years. That's impossible. Fated mates are fairy tales for people who can afford suppressants and choices. I can't, I start to say, but then he's lifting me. Actually lifting me like I weigh nothing. Boss, seriously, we need to go, the man at the door urges. Then we go. The alpha carries me toward the stairs. Call Dr. Chin. Tell him it's an emergency. And someone burn this fucking place to the ground. I should protest. Should fight. But I'm so tired, and his arms are steady, and for just a moment I let myself pretend that safety is real. We emerge into the warehouse proper. Bodies on the ground, guards who worked for whoever ran this place. The Alpha's men move efficiently, gathering weapons and intel. No one looks at me. No one leers or makes comments about damaged merchandise. Outside, night air hits my face. When did I last feel wind? A black SUV waits. The Alpha slides into the back seat, still holding me. I'm sitting across his lap, and I should care about that, about propriety, but I can't remember the last time someone touched me without causing pain. Where are you taking me? I ask as the vehicle starts moving. My penthouse. I have a private doctor who'll treat you. I turn my head to look at him. Really look at him. Why? Because you're hurt. People get hurt all the time. You probably hurt people all the time. I gesture vaguely at his obviously criminal empire. So why help me? His jaw works like he's trying to find the right words. Finally, he says, because the moment I caught your scent, everything changed. My stomach drops. No. I didn't believe in fated mates either, he continues quietly. Thought it was bullshit people made up to justify bad decisions. But then I walked into that room and... Stop. I press my hands over my ears like a child. Just stop. This isn't how it works. Omegas like me don't get fairy tale endings. We get used until we break, and then we get discarded. He gently pulls my hands down. Then I'll be your new ending. Whatever you need. However long it takes. I want to believe him. God, I want to believe him so badly it physically hurts. But I've been broken too many times. My family will come for me, I whisper. They have judges, politicians, money. You're underground. They'll destroy you and take me back. His expression turns cold. Dangerous. Let them try. The SUV pulls up to a building that screams wealth. The Alpha carries me through a private entrance, into an elevator that requires a key card. His men stay behind, peeling off to different vehicles. What's your name? I ask suddenly. He looks down at me. Does it matter? You know everything about me apparently. Seems fair. A ghost of a smile. Fair. I like that. The elevator opens directly into a massive penthouse. But names are power. Are you ready to give me that power over you? I think about it. About trust and risk and the fact that I'm already completely at his mercy. I'm ready to try, I finally say. He carries me to a bedroom bigger than my entire childhood apartment. Sets me down gently on a bed that feels like clouds. An older man with kind eyes and a medical bag is already waiting. I'll be right outside, the Alpha says. You're safe here. I promise. As he leaves, I realize I never answered his question about names. Never told him mine. But somehow, lying in clean sheets with a real doctor preparing to treat me gently, I think maybe I'm ready to remember who I used to be. Before they broke me. Before I became inventory. Maybe I'm ready to be human again. 3 days pass before I can speak without my throat feeling like shattered glass. Dr. Chin comes twice daily. He doesn't ask questions about the scars, just treats them with careful hands and leaves medication that actually works. The Alpha, I still don't know what to call him, watches every treatment like he's memorizing each wound. Your ribs are healing, Dr. Chin says on the 4th morning. The silver burns will take longer. And you're severely malnourished. After he leaves, the Alpha sits in the chair beside my bed. He does this often. Just sits. Watching. Waiting. You can ask, I finally say. I know you want to. I don't want to push. You literally carried me out of a basement. I think we're past boundaries. I pull myself up against the pillows, ignoring the pain. What do you want to know? His dark eyes meet mine. Everything. But start with your family name. I take a breath. Hanseong Group. My father is the CEO. My mother chairs 3 charity boards. My younger brother is being groomed to take over the conglomerate. I laugh bitterly. I was supposed to take over first. I see recognition flash across his face. I was planning a business alliance with Hanseong. Then you're smart to reconsider. I touched the scars on my wrists. 3 years ago, I was the golden son. Harvard MBA. Apprenticed in every division. Father called me his successor. What changed? I presented. The words taste like ash. 22 years old, in the middle of a board meeting. Suddenly I wasn't the heir anymore. I was a problem to be solved. The alpha's hands curl into fists. They disowned you. Worse. They declared me mentally unstable. Got a judge, one who owes my father favors, to sign conservatorship papers. Told the world I'd had a breakdown, that I needed specialized care. I forced myself to continue. The care was a private facility where they pumped me full of heat suppressants and kept me locked up. For 3 years. The facility was just the beginning. My voice drops. They discovered that wealthy alphas would pay extraordinary amounts for access to an omega from a prominent family. Especially one who couldn't fight back, who had no legal rights, who technically didn't exist anymore. I watch his expression darken with each word. They moved me to different locations. Hills. Private estates. That warehouse. Anywhere someone paid enough. I pull up my sleeve showing the track marks. These are from the suppressants. These, I touch my ribs, are from the clients who paid extra to not be gentle. And these, I show him cigarette burns on my shoulder, are from my brother. The alpha stands so abruptly the chair crashes backward. Your brother? He personally delivered me to the worst ones. Said I should be grateful the family found a use for damaged goods. The memory makes my hands shake. He watched sometimes. Smiled while I can't finish. Don't need to. The alpha understands. Names, he says, voice deadly calm. I need their names. Every client. Every location. Every person who touched you. But, so you can what? Start a war with one of the most powerful families in the country. I shake my head. You're underground. They're legitimate. They'll bury you in legal proceedings and make you disappear. He kneels in front of me, taking my damaged hands in his. I've built an empire on being underestimated. Let me worry about strategy. You just tell me the truth. So I do. For hours, I do. I tell him about the 7 locations they moved me between. The coded ledgers where they tracked payments. The doctor who administered the suppressants and falsified medical records. The lawyer who maintained the conservatorship. The clients, politicians, executives, old money families who knew they could act without consequences. The alpha records everything on his phone, his expression growing colder with each revelation. There are others, I finally whisper. I'm not the first omega son to mysteriously go crazy or die young. I heard names sometimes. Families like mine who had the same problem with inconvenient omega heirs. How many? At least 7 that I know of. Maybe more. He stops recording. Looks at me with something like awe. You remembered all of this? Dates, names, fonts. While they were. Survival, I interrupt. I memorized everything because some part of me believed I'd need it someday. That I'd get a chance to make them pay. I laugh hollowly. Stupid, right? I'm property. I have no legal standing. No one would believe me. I believe you. He stands, pulling out his phone. And I'm going to make sure everyone else does too. Over the next week, I watch the alpha orchestrate his war from the penthouse. Men come and go with reports. He makes calls in 3 different languages. A woman with sharp eyes and a federal badge visits twice. Apparently the FBI agent who's been trying to arrest him for years. You're insane, she tells him. Han Seong has connections everywhere. You'll be dead or in prison within a month. Then help me take them down first, he counters. I'll give you everything. Every record, every transaction. You get the trafficking ring and the corrupt officials. I get justice for my mate. She stares at him. Mate. He glances at me, and something softens in his expression. Mate. The agent looks between us, then sighs. This is the stupidest decision I've ever made. But I'm in. 10 days after my rescue, I wake up burning. My first real heat in 3 years, not the drug-induced ones they used to make me compliant. I'm scared and confused and my body is demanding things I'm not ready to give. The alpha finds me curled on the bathroom floor, shaking. I gasp. The suppressants. Please. I can't do this. Not again. No more suppressants. He lifts me gently, carries me back to bed. Your body needs to heal naturally. You don't understand. I'm crying now, clawing at his shirt. They used my heats. Every alpha who paid got to. I'm not them. He holds me close, scenting me, letting his alpha pheromones soothe my panic. I'm here. You're safe. Nothing happens unless you choose it. The heat lasts 3 days. 3 days of him bringing me water, cool cloths, food I can't eat. 3 days of my body screaming for completion while he holds me and refuses to take what I'm biologically programmed to offer. On the third night, fever dizzy and desperate, I sob into his chest. Why won't you just? Everyone else just took what they wanted. Why are you different? Because you deserve choice. He strokes my sweat-soaked hair. Because when we complete this bond, I want it to be you choosing me. Not your heat. Not gratitude. Not survival. You. Something breaks open in my chest. I don't know if there's enough of me left to choose anything. Then we'll find those pieces together. When the heat finally breaks, I wake up clear-headed for the first time in years. The alpha is asleep in the chair beside my bed, head tilted at an uncomfortable angle, dark circles under his eyes. He stayed. All 3 days he stayed. I'm reaching out to touch his hand when his phone buzzes. A message lights up the screen. Press conference scheduled. Hanseong is making their move. The alpha wakes instantly, reading the message. His expression goes dark. What is it? I ask. He turns on the television. My father appears on screen, silver hair perfect, eyes red-rimmed. My mother stands beside him, dabbing at tears. Our son is very ill, my father says, voice breaking. He suffers from severe mental illness and substance abuse issues. We've tried everything, the best facilities, the best doctors. Now a known criminal has kidnapped him. We just want our boy home safely. Behind them, my brother stares at the camera with perfectly crafted concern. I watch them lie with practiced ease. Watch the reporters' sympathetic expressions. Watch my family weaponize the very symptoms of the trauma they caused. They're good, I whisper. They've always been so good at this. The alpha turns off the television, kneels in front of me. Do you want to destroy them? I meet his eyes. See the cold fury there. The promise of violence. The offer of vengeance. Yes, I breathe. I want to watch them burn. He smiles. It's not a kind expression. Then let's give them a war they'll never forget. He makes a call. Then another. By evening, his entire organization is mobilized. But it's the message he sends to my father that makes my heart race. You took 3 years from him. I'm taking everything from you. Starting now. My father's response comes an hour later. You're a criminal threatening a respected family. The police are already looking for you. Return our son, or we'll make sure you never see daylight again. The alpha shows me the message. Last chance to back out. This gets ugly from here. I think about 3 years in basements. About my brother's cigarette burns. About the clients who paid extra to make me scream. Make them pay, I say. Make them pay for everything. He kisses my forehead. Consider it done. The war starts with fire. I watch from the penthouse windows as news reports flood in. A Hanseong warehouse burning in the industrial district, another in the port. The alpha stands beside me, phone pressed to his ear, orchestrating destruction with the calm precision of a chess master. No casualties, he says into the phone. I want them scared, not martyred. 3 days into the war, the FBI agent, Agent Kim, I've learned, spreads documents across the dining table. Bank records. Shipping manifests. Coded ledgers that match my memories perfectly. This is good, she says, studying the papers. Really good. But we need more. We need victims willing to testify. There are others, I tell her. Other Omega sons who disappeared. I heard names. The Alpha's lieutenant, a scarred man named Kong, brings a list. 7 families. 7 Omega sons who died young or went insane according to official records. I recognize 3 names from whispered conversations between clients. Find them, the Alpha orders. Find them all. But my family doesn't sit idle. For days after the first fire, assassins come. I'm in the kitchen making tea, normal, domestic, strange after years of captivity, when glass shatters. The Alpha shoves me behind the counter as bullets tear through the penthouse. His men materialize from nowhere, returning fire. The sound is deafening. Someone rushes the counter. I see the gun. See my death. Training I didn't know I had kicks in. I grab the knife from the counter and drive it into the assassin's throat. Blood. So much blood. He falls, choking, dying because of me. The Alpha kills the other 2 intruders. Kong secures the perimeter. And I stand there, knife still in my hand, watching a man die by my hand. Hey! The Alpha takes the knife gently, pulls me into his arms. You're okay. You did what you had to do. I killed him. My voice sounds distant. I killed someone. He came here to kill you. That's not murder. That's survival. But that night, I dream of basements and blood and my hands covered in red. The Alpha holds me through the nightmares, whispering that I'm safe, that he's here, that I'm allowed to do whatever it takes to stay alive. 2 weeks into the war, Agent Kim brings news. We found 4 of the Omega sons. Alive. They're willing to testify if we can guarantee protection. The Alpha arranges safe houses. Private security. The FBI fast-tracks witness protection. I meet the other survivors in a secure location. Young men with the same haunted eyes, the same scars hidden under expensive clothes. We don't share details. We don't need to. We recognize each other's pain. Your family is the key, one tells me. The biggest operation. If Han Seong falls, the others panic. Then we make Han Seong fall, I say. Agent Kim secures an investigation. The Alpha's evidence combined with FBI resources creates an unstoppable momentum. Warrants are issued. Assets frozen. My family's lawyers scramble to contain the damage. I watch it unfold on the news with savage satisfaction. Then the Alpha sits me down one evening, expression serious. There's something you need to know. I've been training you. Training me? Self-defense. Situational awareness. How to read people. He takes my hands. I want you to testify. Publicly. But only if you're ready. Fear claws at my throat. They'll destroy my credibility. The conservatorship papers are fraudulent. We have proof. But more than that, you have the truth. His eyes bore into mine. They want you silent. Hidden. I want you to stand in open court and show them exactly what they created. I think about 3 years of silence. Of being property. Of believing I deserved it. I'll do it, I whisper. I'll testify. He kisses me then. Really kisses me. Not comfort, not reassurance, but promise. When he pulls back, his eyes are dark with want. After this is over, he says quietly, I want to complete our bond. Properly. With you choosing me freely. I already choose you, I breathe. Then let's finish this first. Together. The trial is scheduled. My family's legal team files motion after motion to delay, but Agent Kim bulldozes through every obstacle. 3 weeks after my rescue, we're preparing for court when the penthouse intercom buzzes. Kong checks the security feed. Goes very still. Boss, he says carefully. You need to see this. On the screen, a young man stands at the building entrance. Expensive clothes. Familiar features. My brother. Ice floods my veins. It's a trap. Armed, the Alpha asks. No weapons detected, Kong reports. He's alone. The Alpha looks at me. Your call. Every instinct screams danger. But something in my brother's posture on that screen, the slumped shoulders, the way he keeps looking around like he's being followed, reminds me of myself in that basement. Let him up, I say. But watch him. When the elevator opens, my brother steps out. He looks terrible. Thinner than I remember. Dark circles under his eyes. And when he sees me, something crumbles in his expression. I'm sorry, he says immediately. Desperately. I'm so sorry. For everything. For all of it. Get out. My voice is ice. You don't get to apologize. You don't get to feel better. I know. I know I don't. He's crying now. But I need to warn you. Father knows about the trial. He's planning something. And I need help. The Alpha moves between us. Help with what? My brother meets my eyes. And I see it. The terror I recognize from mirrors. I presented, he whispers. 3 weeks ago. As Omega. And his voice breaks. They put me in the same basement. The same cell. Father said I'm lucky I have an older brother who already paved the way. The world tilts. No, I breathe. No, you're lying. I wish I was. He pulls up his sleeve. Fresh zip tie burns circle his wrists. They've already had the first client meeting. Father personally supervised. Said I should be grateful he's giving me purpose. I'm going to be sick. The Alpha catches me as my knees buckle. You're sure? He asks my brother. The conservatorship papers are already filed. I'm officially mentally unstable as of 2 weeks ago. My brother's laugh is broken. I helped them do this to you. I watched and smiled and thought I was earning Father's approval. Now I understand. He sobs. I'm so sorry. I know you have no reason to help me, but I don't know where else to go. I look at the person who tortured me, who delivered me to monsters, who burned me with cigarettes while Father watched approvingly. And I see myself at 22, believing I deserved it. Show me, I say quietly. He pulls up his shirt. The bruises are fresh. The pattern familiar. The brand on his hip, the same mark they gave me to identify property, is still healing. They're doing a press conference tomorrow, my brother continues. Announcing my breakdown. By next week, I'll disappear completely. The Alpha's phone rings. Agent Kim. We have a problem, she says. Han-seong just filed an emergency motion. They're claiming both their sons are mentally incompetent and requesting immediate custody. They have a court order signed by Judge Lee. Lee is on their payroll, I say numbly. I know. We're fighting it, but they're coming for both of us, I finish. My brother nods. Father sent me here. Said if I brought you home voluntarily, he'd go easy on me. He meets my eyes. I'm not taking you back. I'd rather die than help them hurt you again. But you need to know they're moving fast. The Alpha's expression goes deadly. How many people know you're here? Just Father and his head of security. They think I'm still loyal. Then we use that. The Alpha pulls out his phone, already planning. You stay here. Under guard. We move up the trial timeline. And we get both of you on that stand before they can execute any custody order. Both of us. My brother looks shocked. You're a victim too now, I say quietly. Even if you were a perpetrator before. He breaks down completely. I don't deserve your help. I don't deserve. You're right. You don't. I'm surprised by the steadiness in my voice. But I'm not helping you for you. I'm helping you because no one should go through what they put me through. Not even you. The Alpha squeezes my hand. Pride shining in his eyes. Can you testify? Agent Kim asks my brother through the phone. Everything you know. Everything you did. Yes. My brother wipes his eyes. All of it. I'll confess to everything. Then we move tomorrow, the Alpha declares. We hit them before they can regroup. Full assault, legal and otherwise. That night, I lie awake beside the Alpha, my brother sleeping under guard in another room. The irony isn't lost on me. The person who destroyed me is now under my protection. Are you okay? The Alpha asks quietly. I don't know. I turn to face him. Part of me wants him to suffer. Part of me sees myself in him. Part of me wonders if I can ever forgive. You don't have to decide that tonight. Or ever. He's still my brother. He is. And you're still allowed to hate him while saving him. I curl into the Alpha's warmth. Tomorrow we go to war. Tomorrow, I face my family in court. Tomorrow, everything changes. But tonight, I let myself be held by someone who sees me as human. That's enough. The courtroom is packed. I sit at the plaintiff's table, The alpha on my left, Agent Kim on my right. Across the aisle, my father sits in an immaculate suit, the picture of a concerned parent. My mother dabs her eyes with a handkerchief. They're lawyers, 5 of them, shuffle papers with confident efficiency. My brother sits in the witness waiting room under FBI protection. He'll testify after me. Ready? The alpha asks quietly. I'm not. I'll never be ready for this. But I nod anyway. The judge enters. Judge Park. Not Lee, thank God. Agent Kim fought hard to get the case reassigned. Park has a reputation for being incorruptible, which is why my family's lawyers immediately requested recusal. Denied. My family's lead attorney stands first. Your Honor, this entire proceeding is a travesty. My client's son was kidnapped by a known criminal and has been subjected to coercion. Your client's son is right here, Agent Kim interrupts. And he's prepared to testify voluntarily. A mentally incompetent person cannot consent to testimony. Then let's establish competency, Judge Park says. Call your first witness. They call their psychiatrist first. Dr. Han, who I've never met, testifies that based on years of medical records, I suffer from severe delusions and paranoid schizophrenia. Have you ever personally examined the plaintiff? Agent Kim asks during cross-examination. No, but the documented history. So your testimony is based entirely on records provided by the defendants? Dr. Han hesitates. Yes, but... No further questions. They call character witnesses next. Family friends who speak about my father's tireless dedication. Business partners who praise his integrity. A former teacher who claims I showed signs of instability even in high school. I watch them lie under oath. Watch the jury's sympathetic expressions. Then it's my turn. I walk to the stand on shaking legs. Place my hand on the Bible. Swear to tell the truth. My family's lawyer approaches like a shark. Isn't it true you've been diagnosed with mental illness? By doctors my father paid to diagnose me, I say clearly. After I presented as Omega. Isn't it true you've been hospitalized multiple times? I was imprisoned multiple times. There's a difference. Your Honor, the lawyer protests. The witness is being deliberately difficult. The witness is answering your questions, Judge Park says. Continue. The lawyer changes tactics. You claim your family abused you. Yet you have no police reports, no emergency room visits, no evidence beyond your own word. Because my father controls the police in 3 districts and has judges on his payroll. I meet the jury's eyes. Because Omega sons from wealthy families who report abuse tend to disappear into psychiatric facilities. Because I had no legal standing to file reports. Convenient, the lawyer sneers. Is it? I stand up. Your Honor, may I show the court something? Judge Park nods. I remove my jacket. Then my shirt. The courtroom goes silent. My torso is a map of systematic torture. Whip scars layer upon layer. Cigarette burns in deliberate patterns. The brand on my hip, a serial number like livestock. Zip tie scars circle both wrists. A fracture line visible on my ribs where they healed wrong. These aren't self-inflicted, I say quietly. These aren't from mental illness. These are from 3 years of being rented to clients while my family collected payments. A juror gasps. Another covers her mouth. My father's expression doesn't change. That's almost worse than anger. Your Honor, my family's lawyer tries desperately. This proves nothing. The plaintiff could have acquired those injuries anywhere. Sit down, Judge Park says sharply. Agent Kim, redirect? Agent Kim approaches with a tablet. I'm entering into evidence financial records seized from Hanseong Group accounts. The jury will note the coded transactions matching the dates and locations the plaintiff provided. She displays the ledgers. The dates I was moved. The amounts paid. The client codes that investigators have started matching to real names. I'm also entering medical records from Dr. Chin, who examined the plaintiff immediately after his rescue. His findings indicate injuries consistent with prolonged captivity and systematic abuse. The lawyer tries to object. Judge Park overrules. Finally, Agent Kim says, I'm calling a second witness who can corroborate the plaintiff's testimony. My brother enters the courtroom. My father goes very still. My mother's handkerchief drops. My brother takes the stand. His hands shake as he swears the oath. Please state your name and relationship to the plaintiff, Agent Kim says. I'm his younger brother. His voice cracks. And I helped them do this to him. The courtroom erupts. Judge Park calls for order. Please explain, Agent Kim prompts. My brother takes a shaky breath. 3 years ago, my older brother presented as Omega. My father said he was a liability, that the family couldn't have an Omega heir. So they had him declared incompetent and locked away. And your role? He's crying now. I helped maintain the cover story. I delivered him to clients when father ordered it. I watched them hurt him and I did nothing because I thought it would make father proud of me. Why are you testifying now? He pulls up his sleeve. Shows the zip tie burns. Because 3 weeks ago I presented as Omega. And they put me in the same basement. The same cell. Father said I should be grateful my brother paved the way. He looks at our father. He said it was my turn to earn my keep. My mother sobs. My father's lawyer whispers urgently in his ear. I have documentation, Agent Kim says, producing conservatorship papers filed for my brother. Dated 2 weeks ago. Same judge. Same doctor. Same pattern. Judge Park examines the documents, expression darkening. That's when my father moves. He lunges from his seat with a roar, something metallic flashing in his hand. A hidden blade. He vaults over the barrier, heading straight for my brother. You ungrateful. The Alpha moves faster. He intercepts my father mid-lunge, disarming him with brutal efficiency. The blade clatters away. Bailiffs swarm in, but the Alpha already has my father pinned. You're done, the Alpha growls into my father's ear. Your empire, your reputation, your freedom, done. They drag my father away in handcuffs, still screaming about ungrateful sons and family honor. The trial continues. More victims testify. Other families' Omega sons, finally given voices. Clients are named. Judge Lee is arrested in his chambers. The head of the private facility flips on everyone to save himself. The verdict comes 3 days later, guilty on all counts. Human trafficking. Conspiracy. Fraud. My parents each get 20 years. 3 executives get 15. My father's business partner turns state's evidence. Hanseong Group's stock plummets. The company fractures. My extended family scrambles to distance themselves from the scandal. 6 months later, I wake up to sunlight and the smell of coffee. The Alpha stands at the window, phone pressed to his ear, probably doing something semi-legal. Some habits die hard. But he's kept his word, mostly legitimate now. Real estate, security consulting, venture capital, and Omega advocacy. Morning, he says, ending his call. He crosses to the bed, kisses me softly. How'd you sleep? Good. Really good. I stretch, marveling at how normal this feels. No nightmares. That's 3 nights in a row. Progress. I smile. I have lunch with my brother today. How's that going? Hard. Really hard. I think about our weekly sessions in therapy, separate and together. But he's trying. He volunteers at the Omega Support Center now, working with kids whose families abandoned them. That's good. The Alpha sits beside me, runs fingers through my hair. You're allowed to forgive him at your own pace. Or not at all. I know. I lean into his touch. Some days I want to. Some days I can't look at him. But he's family. Complicated, broken family, but family. My phone buzzes. A reminder, testimony before Congress next week. The Omega rights bill I helped draft. Nervous, the Alpha asks. Terrified. But also ready. I turn to face him. I want to do this. Use what happened to change things. You're already changing things. He pulls me close. 3 new Omega protection laws. 5 trafficking rings dismantled. Hundreds of victims found and rescued. We're changing things, I correct. Your resources, your connections, none of this happens without you. He kisses me properly then. When he pulls back, his eyes are serious. I want to ask you something. Okay. He produces a small box. Opens it. Inside, 2 rings, simple, elegant, meaningful. I want to complete our bond. Properly. Officially. Not because of biology or circumstance, but because I choose you. And I want you to choose me. My breath catches. You know I already. I know. But I want to do this right. A real ceremony. Our friends. Our family. A celebration of everything we survived and everything we're building. He takes my hand. Marry me. Mate me. Be mine while I'm yours. I'm crying. Happy tears this time. Yes. God, yes. He slides the ring on my finger. I do the same for him. And when we kiss, it feels like a promise. Like a future. The mating ceremony. 2 months later, I stand in a garden surrounded by people I've chosen. Agent Kim is here, surprisingly. Kong and the Alpha's crew, my found family. Other survivors I've met through advocacy work. Dr. Chen. Even my brother, standing at the edge, still uncertain of his welcome but here because I invited him. The Alpha stands before me in a dark suit, looking at me like I'm everything. I'd burn the world for you, he says during his vows. But I'd rather build a new one with you. Whatever you need. However long it takes. I'm yours. I take a breath. You didn't save me. You stood beside me while I saved myself. You gave me the space to be broken and the strength to heal. You're my partner, my mate, my home. I touch his face gently. I'm yours. Always. When we complete the bond, it's gentle and reverent and perfect. Later, at the reception, my brother approaches hesitantly. Thank you, he says quietly. For inviting me. For not giving up on me. You're my brother, I say simply. That's complicated and messy, but it's true. I'm proud of you. Of everything you're doing. I'm proud of you too. For trying. For testifying. For choosing differently. We're not fixed. Neither of us. But we're healing. That night, the Alpha and I return to our penthouse, our home. I look at the ring on my finger, at the mate mark on my neck, at the future we're building. Happy, the Alpha asks. Yes, I breathe. Finally, yes. Outside, the city glitters with possibility. Inside, 2 people who found each other in darkness learn to thrive in light. Not a fairy tale ending. Something better. A real one.